Hey, what's up guys? Green Thumb Gaming here. Today I want to talk about the Whirlwind Barb and a couple possibilities you can do with your Whirlwind Barb other than the standard build that most of you guys are gonna know. So sorry I haven't been able to make some videos in a couple days here. I've been pretty busy, but today I'm gonna get back on it. In the next couple days I should have some videos for you guys. I'm gonna go back to my hardcore Barb, do some of that. Don't worry, he's not dead or anything. He's alive and well. He might be suffering some post-traumatic stress disorder from almost dying and selling his shield, but other than that, he is all right. I know it's a little bit of a bad joke, but that's all right. We're going to continue on here and keep going. So we're going to take a look at my skills here and just talk about a couple things here. Now, this is basically the standard Whirlwind Barb build that most of you guys are going to know. And we're going to just talk about the 3 to 4 main skills that kind of make up the Whirlwind Barb and make him work the way he does. So the first one, obviously, Whirlwind Hurricane allows you to move faster while you're in Whirlwind, very important. Sprint Run Like the Wind allows you to drop down those tornadoes when you sprint and allows you to move faster, very important for the Whirlwind Barb, and those tornadoes help you gain fury and life and all that and do a ton of damage, so that's really important, very mandatory. The next one that's also very important, very mandatory as well, is Battle Rage into the Fray. So that means anytime you get a crit, you have a chance to generate Fury, which is really great, really good. And then the fourth one that's mandatory, not totally mandatory, you could switch it out, but Wrath of the Berserker, Thrive on Chaos, I think this is mandatory just because you're going to be gaining so much Fury that it's going to keep your Wrath of the Berserker up all the time, and that's a lot better choice than, say, the Insanity Ruin or something like that. And now we kind of have two skills left over that could be swapped out, Bash and Warcry. So in a second we'll talk about those. I just want to talk about our passive skills really quick. So we have Weapons Master and Ruthless, both really good, give you some critical hit chance. If you're wearing mace or an axe in your main hand for Weapons Master, you get extra crit chance, and then Ruthless just gives you a passive crit chance and crit damage, so that's pretty good. And then Superstition, this is my preferred passive, but there's a lot of different passives you can change out for this, so we're just going to take a look at some of those real quick. So some of the most common passives you could be using in here, a lot of people really like Bloodthirst, so that gives you some additional life leech. It's a really good rune, and I recommend it if you're going to be choosing that. The next one that is also really good is Animosity. Gives you some extra Fury regen and that kind of thing, so that's pretty good. Also some maximum Fury, so that's good. But for Fury regeneration, I prefer Superstition because it gives you non-physical damage is going to be reduced by 20%, and anytime you get hit by a ranged or elemental attack, you're also going to be gaining some Fury there too. A couple other passives a lot of Whirlwind Barbs used to use, but not as much anymore, as we're using Boonable Kathos, which reduces your cooldown to Wrath Berserker. Pretty cool there. Another one some people use were either Tough as Nails or Nurse of Steel for extra defenses, but you know, not the best. One rune that some people are starting to use now is Inspiring Presence, so that basically increases the duration of all your shouts, and it gives you a lot of life regen based upon your maximum life. So the more life you have, the more health regen you're going to get, or life regen, so to say. And then there's one other passive that I've been kind of playing around with a little bit, and it's Brawler. So basically the way Brawler works is if 3 enemies are within 8 yards of you, all your damage is going to be increased by 30%. So we're going to take a look at that real quick and go kind of show you guys what it's like. Alright, so here we are at the bridge. We're going to look for some enemies and take a look at our damage once we get to them. Alright, we'll get these 3 guys right here, let them get a little nice and close. And there you see it went up to like 199 there. So that's the way Brawler works. I think Brawler could be a pretty good passive to slot in there. Although it would be a lot more effective if the area around you was a little bit more than just 9 yards. It would be a lot more effective. But I still think that could be a really strong passive, and it's worth looking into. So other than that, we got a couple other skills. I'm going to just switch back to Superstition, but we're going to talk about our primary skills here. So Bash Instigation is probably the most popular one and most of you are using because it gives you a lot of Fury regeneration. A lot of the other Bash runes are good, such as Onslaught, Punish, and Pulverize. Those are all quite good. Punish is pretty sweet because it gives you stacks just kind of like the Frenzy, and those increase the damage of your other skills. Cleave, you know, it's alright. I think if you're going to use Cleave, you might use Reaping Swing, because that gives you some additional Fury per enemy hit, which can allow you to generate Fury really quickly. But the skill I like to use in here would be Frenzy Manic, because that also gives you the damage increase based upon how many Manic stacks you get. And a couple other Frenzy runes you might want to try in there would be Smite, which gives you a chance of stunning your target, pretty sweet for single targets. And then Vanguard, so if you got some Frenzy stacks up, your movement speed is increased by 15%, pretty cool as well. So that pretty much does it for the primary skills, some options in there. And so you're probably wondering, what am I going to try to get at this video? Well, I want to talk about the one last skill, and this is what it's going to mainly be about for exploring the Whirlwind Barb. It's Warcry Impunity. Now, if you think you have enough defenses that you can maybe drop this skill, I highly recommend at least trying it or seeing if you can, because there's a lot of really cool options that you can get from Warcry Impunity in that slot. So we're going to go ahead and switch that out for one rune I think is pretty sweet. So we're going to go with Rend, and the three Rend runes that you might want to try are Ravage, which increases the amount of enemies hit basically because you get a bigger radius. Bloodlust, which gives you life leech for all the enemies that are getting hit by Rend, so that's really cool as well. And the other one would be Lacerate, which just simply increases the damage of Rend. So we're going to go ahead and try out Lacerate. We'll just do that basically to show you guys what the Rend, how you kind of be using that as a Whirlwind Barb. So we're going to go out to the bridge again and try this out real quick. We're going to get all of our stuff up here, and as you can see, you'd whirlwind around, hit Rend, and then keep going and keep doing that. So you have to stop every time you use Rend, so it's not the best, but it is pretty cool to get some extra damage in there. And as you can see, you can kind of hit it every once in a while, and they get that little blood mark on there when they have Rend on them, and you can see it does quite a bit of damage on its own. So Rend, that's a pretty cool option you can put in there, but I really don't like it because I don't like to stop when I'm whirlwinding, typically, you know. So another really awesome rune, this is the one I've been using the most, so maybe you guys want to check this out, and that skill would be Overpower with the Ruin Killing Spree. So basically, Overpower, it does some damage to all the enemies around you, and landing critical hits will lower the cooldown. And then if you choose the Killing Spree rune, it's also going to be able to give you critical hit chance for 10% for 6 seconds, which is pretty big in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and check that out. I'm going to show that to you guys real quick and show you guys how it works. So we're going to go somewhere else here, just because we've already slaughtered some enemies out in the fields of slaughter. We're going to try it in here. So as you can see, there you go, we get it. As you can see, we're getting crits. That cooldown is being reduced, and you can hit it every time, and it's pretty cool. You can see right here I get the extra additional crit chance, so that's pretty awesome. And this one I've been really liking because you don't have to stop when you use it. You can keep running, and whenever it's available off its cooldown, you can hit it and you can just keep going. You don't have to stop like Rend, and basically gives you some extra damage just for that. So that one is really cool to try out. I'd highly recommend you guys try that one out. The next skill I want to talk about here, we'll go back to town. Hopefully we get away from these fire chains, guys. Alright, we're good. The one I want to talk about, this one, you guys might kind of not really think about it, but I was having a ton of fun with it, and I recommend you guys try it out. Where I'm going to be using it is on Monster Power 10 when I'm doing just simply key runs, and all I want to do is kill the elites and champion packs, get my 5 stacks, kill the keyboard, and get out of there. So that rune slash skill is going to be Hammer the Ancients with Smash Rune. So this actually, you do have to stop every time you use Smash, but I'm just going to show you how it works here real quick. So we're going to go ahead and get our buffs up here. I'm going to go ahead and pop Wrath Berserker just to make it a little bit more fun. My phone just went off there. I'm going to read that text real quick. Well, not read it, just shut it up real quick. Alright, so basically what you do is do that, get some fury up, and then you can just smash down these guys, and you can see it does a ton of damage, hitting for like 600k and that kind of thing, getting those big crits in there. I did manage to crit for like 1,000,000 when I was trying this out. There was like a 900k right there. As you can see, it takes down packs incredibly quick, and that's going to be really awesome. I suggest you guys trying it out on some of the higher monster powers, because you can really blow through the packs with that. And basically what you want to do is you want to whirl around a bit, make sure you got your tornadoes down, then start using your smash or hammer the ancients, and then you're going to want to start using your tornadoes again and make sure you got that fury regen hitting off them. So that's basically what you do with smash. Now there's one other skill I think you could put in there, and I haven't tried it out very much, but I think it's kind of interesting, and I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I have a pretty good idea. And that ruin would be Threatening Shout with Grim Harvest. Now basically what Threatening Shout does, is it basically reduces damage done by enemies within 25 yards for 20% for 15 seconds. And then the Grim Harvest Ruin makes it so enemies are just like so shaken up that they have a 15% chance to drop additional treasure or health globes. Now, so the way I think that works, I think it works very similar to the bonus item you get for higher monster powers, where you just simply, enemies have a 15% greater chance of dropping any item. That item could be basically anything. So that's kind of cool there. We're going to go out and we're going to test this one out as well and kind of show you guys how it works. When I first was testing this out, I actually was able to get a legendary off my first drop, and I think that was just pure luck, but you never know. Maybe it is good. Maybe it is a good rune to try out. I'm a little skeptical about it, but as you can see, you do the shout there, and then these guys, they have the little thing above their head, and they have additional loot chance of being dropped. So that's kind of a cool ruin. You guys might want to try it out. There you go. Give them a shout, and we'll whirlwind through these guys. And as you can see, you can still whirlwind like normal. You don't have to stop or anything when using that. So that's a pretty cool rune to try out. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video, some different kind of runes you can try out while still keeping the mandatory skills and stuff you need for your Whirlwind Barb. I really recommend trying some of these stuff out. I was having a ton of fun with it. You guys might too. So basically the times I'm still going to be using Warcry is in group play. I think it's really good, unless I have another Whirlwind Barb doing Warcry, then I might just swap out for Overpower or something. But if I'm in a group just with a bunch of other people, I'm going to use Warcry Impunity because it's really going to help out everybody around me and just make our group more solid together, especially in Uber boss fights where taking less damage really does help. But other than that, I'm going to be using Overpower on any other monster power unless I'm doing key runs, and then I'm going to be using my hammer, the Ancient Smash, and then maybe every once in a while I'm going to try out that Threatening Shout with the Grim Harvest Rune because I think that's pretty cool, giving a little bit of extra loot. Not exactly sure how it works, I'm a little skeptical, but I think it could be pretty cool, and I think you guys might want to try it out. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this video. Just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of insight on what you can do with your Whirlwind Barb other than the standard build. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.